Good evening, everybody. 7 home wins, 3 away wins, 2 draws, 31 goals, 6 red cards, and 1 Gillingham Football Club meltdown. All feature on episode 12 tonight of the League 2 Hour. So, welcome back, of course, to my good friend and co-host, Lee. Another action-packed weekend to get through, my friend.
Yeah, although I might have to cover my eyes with the shirt that you're wearing this evening, my friend.
For anybody who doesn't know, Lee, my friend, decided to do an accumulator on Saturday and didn't tell me until he was boasting about it online that he'd won, which included Grimsby to beat my team. So this, yes, I am being petty, is a little bit of revenge. But tonight's quiz question is: this shirt belongs to obviously one club. 3 shirts belong to another 3 clubs. These 4 football teams are of only 5 in the history of football to have all done what? I will leave that with everybody for the rest of the show. For obviously anyone who joins lately, we'll try and put that up in the comments at about halfway through. But yeah, that is tonight's quiz question. 23 of you already watching. Welcome to every single one of you. Dennis Millam is first into the comments, and he said,
I don't know if Matt has just lost connection. Bear with me. I'll see if he... yeah, here he is. He's coming back.
trying to put Dennis's comment up, and the whole thing just disappeared. Anyway, I'm back. Whether that's a good thing for plenty of you, I'm not entirely sure. I think Lee sabotaged me because I'm wearing a Blade shirt.
It startled me a bit because I'm thinking, have I been booted out of the room? And then I looked and I'm like, no, I'm still live. I better say.
No, you've got to do it. Like, you've got to do stuff. Technical gremlins every single week. We shall try that again. Take 2. Dennis is in the chat and says, good evening, lads. Evening, Dennis. Welcome back, mate. Of course, little Finley is in the chat and says, hi to Lee. Evening, Finley. Good to see you again, mate. Troy is in and says, evening, guys. David Longley's back, says, good evening, gentlemen. SBR GFC just says, why are you in a Sheffield United shirt when you support Gillingham? If you was in on time, you would understand why. I will put the question back up in the chat in a little while.
He sounds like me.
Yellow, Matt and Lee. Yellow. Hello. Matt and Lee, why are you wearing a Sheffield United shirt? Another one who was late. We have to get these yellow cards out again, haven't we? For people that keep turning up late and then don't understand the context. Right. Let's do it again, quickly. This shirt belongs to Sheffield United. There are 3 shirts up there as well belonging to 3 clubs that belong in either the Premier League or the EFL. Them, along with only one other football team in the history of football, have done something. Only 5 of them. That is the question. Let me know your answers. Not saying it again. Somebody has put all the clubs have played in all 4 divisions on the right lines, but not quite the correct answer. They have, but that isn't specific because there's a lot more than just 5 teams that have played in all 4 divisions. Mitchell, the Walsall fan, says, evening both. Good evening, mate. Welcome to the chat if it is your first time. If not, welcome back. The Abandoned Hunter 3604 says, evening, gents. Another one I think we're going to have to ask to explain the username, Lee. And let's hope it's more exciting than the GFC fish or whatever it was the other week.
Yeah, I'm hoping he's one of these abandoned like vloggers at YouTube.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you can let us know, mate, that'd be brilliant. Hunter, we're going to call you for sure. Nick Castleton's back in. Jules fan, evening. Let's hope we discuss the referee tonight. I don't want to. I talked about it on the match day review. I really don't want to go over it. I think I'll let Lee cover that game because the vein in my head's going to pop again otherwise. We have a winner already. There we go. Hayden has nailed it. They've won all 4 divisions in English football. The other club was Preston North End. I'm still not taking it off. That childish. Right. That's some comments done. We shall leave Hayden's on the screen for a little while, mate, so he can revel in the glory. Yours was the first feature game tonight, I think, wasn't it? It was yours, Accrington against Swindon Town?
It was, yeah.
This one. Go on.
Yeah, no, a huge result in League Two for top and bottom of the division, and probably a result that no one really predicted or foreseen happen. Me, for sure, because I had Swindon in my last man standing. Sorry, Aki fans. I just did not see this one coming. But yeah, Aki proving everyone wrong. And it was a day that Paddy Madden stole the show with a fantastic hat-trick and an helping hand in another goal as well. The first, absolutely brilliant finish. Obviously, pops down to him and he's spotted the keeper off his line. Little cheeky chip, absolutely audacious, and it's a quality finish. And for me, to win any football match, it was just absolutely brilliant. I think I was coming out of the ground maybe, and I seen it straight away, and I already decided that could potentially be in my top 3 goals. Not to give anything away, but yeah, it was a fantastic finish. And then a red card for Swindon. I'm a bit mixed with this one. I don't know about you. He elbows him, but I don't know if it's intentional. I don't know. I don't know if you.
Interesting because obviously we're going to have to talk about red cards in another game in a minute, which is But yeah, I'm not sure it's a straight red. I've seen them given, but I'd be a little bit miffed if I was Ollie Clark. It looks like I don't think he's swung an arm out.
No, that's what I mean.
His arm's gone up.
Yeah.
And it's just caught the fella. I don't think it's a deliberate elbow. I think maybe a yellow card would have sufficed.
Yeah.
And
it was only like type here. He's like gone like that type.
Yeah, his arm's very close to his body when he makes contact. You'd think if he was trying to thrust it into someone's face, you'd be giving it a full extension back. So
yeah,
like I want to do to Treble Kettle's offspring, but that's in a little while.
But yeah, Ollie Clark obviously getting his marching orders, and then Accrington second comes from a mistake. You feel the Swindon defender has to clear his lines, being that last man. Doesn't, slips, and lets Ethan, who taps it across square, and Paddy Madden's just got to tap it home to make it 2-0. And then the third, Paddy Madden returning the favour to Heath. Heath, great finish. Obviously, it's one of them where he opens up. He looks like he's going to go across, and he goes near post. Quality finish. I've got a lot of time for that. And then that man, Paddy Madden, completing a great performance for himself, getting his hat trick, a good finish. And he's been waiting for his first goal, and then 3 come along at once. But it was a great afternoon for him, and a big win for Accrington. Obviously, teams down there have been winning and still winning this weekend, so it was much needed. I think though Swindon it was just one of them afternoons where nothing sort of went right for him. Obviously with the red card, it were always a tall order. Going down to 10 men to get into the game, but obviously Accrington, credit to them, they've punished a very good Swindon team, and I don't think Swindon have not scored in League Two this season. Might be wrong. We are looking at it, but I can't recall a game that they've not scored in. But yeah, I think they'll bounce back from it. It's just one of them afternoons, but got to give a lot of credit to Accrington.
Absolutely, yeah, huge win for them. And like you said about Madden, I think that's his first goals of the season, first goals of the club. Heath looks like a good signing. He's come to the fore in the last few weeks, albeit in not winning performances, and also I think they'd only scored 7 in their first 11 games. I think got 4 in an afternoon is incredible. Only beat what's in front of you, and obviously Swindon have just put it down to the fact that like you said, bad afternoon, red card, move on swiftly, forget about it, and go on to next week.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you can do. Games are going to happen like that. We've already seen this season that these results can happen. It's one of them that we always echo on this show, that it's now obviously how you bounce back from that defeat. In terms of Accrington, it's how they now build on that. Winning, obviously, can it breed confidence throughout the camp? And obviously scoring 4 against a really, really good Swindon side, it's got to breed confidence.
Absolutely. Yeah, really, really big win. And like we say, for Ian Holloway's men, just pile it under one of them days and crack on again with training this week and look forward to your next one. Right, we'll do a few more comments and then we'll go to my first feature game. I think Will's referring to the abandoned away name, says interesting, which we do have an answer for you. It's along the right lines, mate. There we go. Yeah, used to do a bit of hunting around abandoned buildings, but just call me Smithy. Oh, that's not as exciting now, is it?
Yeah.
You said abandoned football stadiums, didn't you?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, because you did the old Millmore, didn't you, a couple of years ago? Went and saw that. It was a phenomenal video, yeah.
Fascinating to look around that. And I mean, even abandoned buildings, I sometimes watch them on YouTube. I'm letting you into a secret that I'm a bit of a geek, but I don't know, you always picture yourself back at these places, like especially football grounds, at what it was like. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah, I've started reading a book recently, just go off on a tangent about Gills, called Home of the Shouting Men 2. Any Gills fans know all about it. Referenced obviously the history of the club, and there was an edition that came out in the early 90s that sort of covered the first 100 years. And then this one's been in the making. And yeah, looking back at the old Raynham End Terrace and the main stand and the Gordon Road stand being developed and pictures of it being knocked down, it does take you back to when you was a kid and you just think, oh, I'd love to go round and just have a look at it one more time as it was. Because obviously we never moved. But yeah, obviously some fans have the bonus that they can go and visit old sites and that type of thing. Anyway, back to the football. Oh, we've got one food-related question. We can't get through an episode. Matt, how's the fish and chips in Grimsby? Well, that man recommended me the one on the pier. Absolutely astonishing. So £7.99, a quick story. And then on the side it says haddock and chips. Then underneath it says sausage, fish cake. And I said, haddock and chips. Yeah, what do you want with it? That's all I want. No, do you want a fish cake or a sausage? No, I want haddock and chips. No, that comes as part of the price. Like, this is mental. Do you want gravy, curry sauce, or mushy peas? Well, how much extra is that? That comes as part of the price. Unbelievable. Best thing for me, though, mate, everybody on my YouTube vlog has commented and gone, you went to one of the 2 worst chippies in Grimsby. Like, where are the good ones then? Because that was unbelievable.
See, I went to one, I can't remember for the life of me on my name.
There's one on the main road, isn't there?
Yeah, one on the main
road. Which I went to a couple of seasons ago. See, I mean, if that's the bad ones, then the other ones must be unbelievable.
Yeah, see, Papa's, I wouldn't class as a bad one. It's a chain that's like, there's quite a lot around like that sort of area, Lincolnshire, and I think there's one like Allway. I just recall it through work and stuff. But yeah, Papa's I wouldn't recall as being one of the bad ones. I've had a few and they're decent, but I got recommended 2 when I went to Grimsby, and I went to one the first time I went, and that were banging. Proper old school chippy inside, and obviously people were sitting in, obviously all the bread and butter and all that proper old school. You'd imagine what a chippy looked like, and yeah, that was really nice. But I can't for life remember it.
No, I can't. I'll say you sort of where you get off the coach along that railway line, you just go up one of them little side streets onto the main road. Parallel to the ground, and it was just up there. It was really good. But yeah, anyway, Scran was decent. Another question about my attire. No, I'm not taking it off for you, mate. That's a very, very weird question, and we will lose viewers and subscribers very quickly. How do you think I support Swindon? I've got a Sheffield United shirt on. and there's 3 Gills shirts literally there as well. So I'm keeping it on, so the video doesn't get taken down.
Yeah.
Jamie's back. Evening, mate. He says, hi, guys. Love the show. After the weekend, truly hate October as a Gills fan. Can we get 3 points Saturday, please? Yeah, it's not been a great month again for us, has it? But I've already said it feels very different to previous Octobers in terms of performance levels and maybe not results. Kickoff Hub C51 says, evening, lads. Evening, mate. Nice of you to join us. Welcome if it's your first time. Trevor Kettle's son is worse than his old man, and that takes some doing. Yes. No comment. Not getting involved. Just calm down 48 hours later. Lead off we have Grimsby on a Tuesday night this season. We'll probably still do it. Yeah, fair play if you're doing that on a Tuesday night, wherever you're going from. That's a trek, especially as you get into the winter months as well. Right, let's get to my first feature game. 33 in the chat watching, which is brilliant. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. Like Lee says every week, it does really push the show and it pushes the channel out there into the greater world so that more people can see us. Again, I'm not sure whether that's a great thing. People might think that we should do a radio show or Spotify. I don't know, but you're stuck with us for the next 45 minutes tonight. My game was Hull. No, it wasn't. It was Colchester. That's an old fictional team, wasn't it? Colchester. Colchester United 3, Harrogate Town 1.
Yeah.
There's a show for you kids that won't know anything about it. Dream Team. You can find it on YouTube. Anyway, Col U 3, Harrogate Town 1. A hat-trick for Harry Anderson. He notched on 14, 21 and 45 plus 2 after Stephen Duke McKenna, the Sulphurites main man, had put them in front inside 5 minutes. Yeah, perfect start in this one, Lee, for the away side. McKenna, really good finish. I don't know if anyone's seen the video of the Harry Kane goal a couple of weeks ago where that outrageous curler that barely leaves the floor. Well, I'm not saying Stephen Duke McKenna's as good as Harry Kane, but this finish is Kane-esque, we'll call it. And it was a decent move in the build-up as well. So a really good goal. And then it became the Harry Anderson show. First effort he fired home after his initial shot had been blocked. Good awareness to stay alert and put in the rebound. Then a really clinical finish to put his side up 2-1 up 7 minutes later. And you're still only midway through the first half and there's been 3 goals already. Completed his treble in injury time. So 2 games discussed already, 2 hat-tricks. And I think it was only the combination of James Belshaw and a post that prevented 3 becoming 4 before the interval as well. In terms of the second half, wasn't really a lot happened. Mika and Bick struck a post. Harrogate, bit of huff and puff, but didn't really threaten to get back into it. So, yeah, another big win for Col U. We spoke about a couple of weeks ago, mate, and said the Cowleys might have been under pressure. Well, clearly they were listening. Clearly they took our advice on board and said, right, we need to get this right because the League 2 hour keeps lagging us off. 3 wins on the spin and a Virtu Trophy victory. And yeah, them and Harrogate are like ships in the night at the moment. It's complete polar opposites in terms of form. 3 victories on the spin for the home side and 3 defeats on the bounce for Simon Weaver's men, who continue to plummet, unfortunately. Any surprises in that one, or did you see that one going to form? Bear in mind, Colchester had picked up in the last couple of weeks.
You can always see a surprise with Harrogate because they're capable of it, aren't they? I think.
Yeah, I know only too well.
Yeah, they'll pull sort of a result from nowhere. But yeah, with Colchester, I think they're just building steadily. Obviously, it's clicked into gear for them. Whether it's took time for the new signings to click here and everything to click into gear for them. But yeah, the pressure has definitely eased for the Cowleys, and obviously, I think there were 1 or 2 results from maybe being talked about. Obviously, I spoke to a couple of Colchester fans. They didn't foresee that because they love him, which I was quite shocked about. But it was also refreshing to hear because I think clubs are too quick to chop and change just because things aren't working. And obviously now results are coming and they're scoring goals as well. Obviously, a great result against obviously Chesterfield kick-started it, and obviously beat you guys in the Virtual Cup trophy, whatever it's called, and then an away win at Grimsby, which is an easy place to go to, and then they back it up at home. And like I said, scoring goals. So yeah, it's something to keep an eye on, and I think they'll just keep building on it now.
Yeah, look to have got it right, don't they? And they've got some good players. That's the thing. At the end of the day, they've got really good players level. We've said that already, and they seem to have stumbled across another one in Bick. Obviously, Kyrie's Lisby's come to the fore this season. Jack Tucker's having an immaculate campaign at centre half, which is great to see. Obviously, he's ex-Gills, and he had a tough time at MK Dons, I think, so it's great to see him playing regularly and do. I think he's their captain as well now. One to keep an eye on Colchester. We're not at that stage yet where someone likes a late push for it, but they're certainly ones that took a while to get going, but seem to be moving through the gears quite smoothly at the moment. Right, we'll do a couple more comments and then go to your second game. Smithy says proper away game, Grimsby. Yeah, it really is. There's plenty to do beforehand if you can get there in time. Obviously, walk along the seafront, the pier, fish and chips, all that type of thing, and go on the Helter Skelter if it's open. If you're that way inclined. Joshua is in the chat. Welcome, Joshua, if this is your first time watching. He says, official sport, what would have been a decent game at Blundell Park. Absolutely agree on that point. First red wasn't a red. Absolutely agree on that point. Should probably appeal that. Yeah, I wonder if we do. The only risk is obviously if you appeal it and it doesn't get overturned, you then get an extra game put on the top, and we've got 3 missing for Salford plus injuries next week already. Second one was always going to be given. Yeah, I said on my match day review, you can understand why it's given. It's very soft, I still think. But yeah, if you're on a yellow card, unfortunately, you've already drawn attention to the referee. Morris stopped us from scoring 3 or 4. Yeah, he made a couple of good saves. Obviously, the game just became a training exercise. Certainly after the second red card, when we just couldn't get out, we were just playing for corners or set play. But
you know the first? Why do you think he's give the red card?
I've no idea, mate. I really haven't. Like, I'm right behind it, looking at it as they're running towards us, and all I've said our player done wrong, Hutton, is he lets it bounce, which gives KB the chance to go and press. If he just boots it up in the air, then it doesn't become an issue. But after that, I don't think he's done anything wrong. They're both at it. KB's grabbing at our lad. Then they both fall over. And I think they're both just trying to get up. And I said on my match day review, anybody who's playing football, who can get up without putting their arms forward? Like, you can't physically. It's the same as when you try and say that defenders have got to jump with their hands by their side. It's impossible. You have to jump like that, and you have to get up. You have to put your arms out. It is minimal contact, if any at all. The fact that he's 45 yards away from the goal as well surely doesn't make it a clear goal scoring opportunity. He's trying to get up. It's not like he's running away from our lad and we're pulling him back.
That's the reason.
And he's looking the wrong way. He's looking towards his own goal. It's honestly one of the worst decisions I can recall in a long time. I've just 2 days later, I still can't work out why that's been given as a. People saying, "Oh, it doesn't matter if it's soft or not," but a straight red is because it's denying of a clear goal scoring opportunity. There's no denying of a clear goal scoring opportunity there. He's got half a pitch to run towards with defenders on the cover. If you look at the coverage, our left back Max Clark appears out like in the screen as they both go over and knocks it back to our goalkeeper. No, completely wrong for me.
Yeah, and that's why I asked the question, because for me that has to be the only reason he has give that red card, because he thinks it's a clear goal scoring opportunity. But for where he is, he's nowhere near the area, and
no, he's not got control of the football.
Yeah, he's not got control of the football. The players would have got in and around to obviously sweep round. I don't know. I think he's committed, and he's had to obviously make that decision. Obviously, fans will then see off, and I think he's just.
Kettle couldn't get his card out quick enough, mate. Honestly, it was ridiculous. He was there in a flash. Like, didn't give. I've seen things on social media said he gave himself a few seconds. He didn't. He couldn't get there quick enough.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest frustration for Gills fans as well. Sorry for anyone who's watched my match day review already that's a Gills fan, but it's about 6 minutes before that, Cabier's having a tussle with Sam Gale, our centre half, and gets the ump. Just walks up behind him and kicks him. And Grimsby fans are saying, well, it's not a red card because your bloke's all right and he's got up and he's laughing about it. It doesn't matter. It's violent conduct if you kick someone off the ball or you put your hands up to them.
Yeah.
So they want to talk about the potential punch by Max Clark being violent conduct. Then Cavier should be off the pitch before he's had a chance to influence the first red card. And he's the same player that wins the penalty second half as well. I think that's what sticks in the throat with the Gills fans, is that he's should be a red carded and then he's gone and had a massive impact on the football match in other ways. But
yeah.
And breathe.
Sorry I asked the question, mate.
But I am over it, I promise. I'm like Ross in that episode of Friends. I'm fine. Right, what we got? Mitch, the Walsall fan, says officiating in this division is shambolic. We had 2 blatant penalties waved away. Frustrating afternoon. Fair play to Barrow. Came getting 3 points with 10 men for the last 30 minutes. Yeah. We'll get to that in a minute. It's not one of our feature games, unfortunately, but that is a huge.
I did see one of them penalty. I think it was on the highlights, and it was a blatant penalty.
It's not just us, and I understand that. And I get, it all evens itself out over a season and all that type of thing. But when there was so many wrong decisions in the same game, it really does leave a bit of taste in the mouth. Here we go, mate. One for you. Ryan says, great video, Lee, from Saturday at the Hawthorns. Yes, go and watch it if you've not. Another brilliant vlog from Lee. His first visit to West Bromwich Albion. Another absolute belter of a match day vlog. So go and check that out, and don't forget to subscribe to his channel. Your second feature game of the weekend, my friend, was Newport County 0, Cheltenham Town 2. Both goals scored by Luke Young in this one.
Yeah, obviously Newport 0, Cheltenham 2. 3 undefeated now for Cheltenham after Luke Young double. The first coming from a huge mistake from the Newport keeper, Jordan Wright, who should have cleared his lines. Sometimes keepers do a little bit too much and get caught out. I think he's just got to just rose-head it as soon as it comes to him. Doesn't, and obviously the ball then falls to Young. Credit to him, takes it first time, which I think someone had maybe had a touch, but he knows how quick keepers can get back in, or defenders, so he's got to take it, and it's a good finish from him. So yeah, that's 1-0, and then Newport with their probably best chance in the post, which would have made it 1-1, but then Cheltenham sealed the deal, and this was a great finish for me. Obviously, Young's second, fantastic volley. Yeah, massive 3 points for Cheltenham. Newport stay bottom. Cheltenham now move outside of the bottom two. Cottrell has had an effect, that is for sure. Obviously, he's got them ticking. Questions were asked, obviously, after that Grimsby game. And we all know after that, a defeat like that can be quite heavy. But the credit to them, they've responded, and Cottrell seems to be getting him ticking. Like I said, 3 undefeated now.
They're 10 seconds away from being perfect, aren't they? It's only a late equaliser that Gill's got against them. Otherwise, they'd been 3 out of 3.
Yeah, forget that. Yeah, I forgot it were against you guys. But yeah, Newport, very worrying. Obviously, to lose against teams in and around you is not ideal.
No, and to go over quite easily as well. I think I've just written down next to Newport, I've just put doomed ? I think, like you say, you see other teams. I know we've said Accrington will struggle, and I know there's a caveat to their win is that Swindon played, with 10 men for 65 minutes.
Yeah.
But they keep pinching points here and there. Cheltenham have picked up. Shrewsbury have picked up, certainly at home. Suddenly, they look comfortably the worst team in the division, don't they, Newport?
Yeah, obviously we spoke Cheltenham, how that poor they were. We've even spoke about Shrewsbury, how poor they were, and they've seemed to have a little bit of form now as well and getting results. Newport, you just can't see where it's going to come from. I really would be worried if I were a Newport County fan, that is for sure.
I think it's the manner of goals as well. They just give goals away, don't they? Like Zarnev's come out of the team because he's made errors, and then they got another goalkeeper in, and he boots it straight to the Cheltenham midfielder. You just think they're not learning from the mistakes that they keep making that are costing them games, regardless of the personnel. They're still making the same errors. Yeah,
and when you're down there, you just have to do things simple and just get results. Nothing fancy, obviously. Keeper, I think he's just got to get rid. He's tried to be too cute, so he's got caught, and it's ended up falling to him. And to be fair to him, he's took it well first time. And yeah, it's obviously out of the teams down there. We spoke Cheltenham. They look like they were going to be the one that would just continue to get beat.
Is the key thing now for teams like Newport managerial change potentially?
Well, yeah, they'll look at other teams. Obviously, they'll look at Cheltenham and the response that they've had. I think sometimes you've got to act, because it's not like other divisions where League One you get relegated to. Yeah, relegation's poor, but you get relegated out of the Football League. It's massive financially. It's club hard, and some clubs just don't recover. So I think sometimes we're in October now. You've got to change before it's too late, because you can just be in free fall and have that too big a gap to make up when you need it, really.
Absolutely, no, I totally agree. Right, we've got another couple of comments about the shirts. Matt GFC 77 says West Ham United, Everton, and AFC Wimbledon. 100%, mate. Unfortunately, 100% wrong, all of them. Sorry. David Longley says, you might have seen me adjusting where I was sitting. I do apologise. David couldn't see the claret and blue one, but Pompey and Wolves, yes. Dave's got the two. Matt GFC says Harchester United only on Sky One, 6 p.m. 1997 to 2007. Oh, there's a nostalgia. Was it Carl Fletcher? Carl Fletcher was the star striker. Didn't he die in the changing room? Got stabbed by a clothes hook or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Was it Linda Block was the chairman that all teenage boys in the late 90s fancied as well?
Yeah, it was now on Coronation Street, I believe, isn't she?
Is she? I don't watch Coronation. I don't watch soaps, unfortunately. So
I don't. Mum does. Maybe.
But yeah, I do remember her in Dream Team. Finn City's in the chat. Evening, mate. He says hello to both of us. Aaron, the Grimsby fans in. I'll be interested to see what he's got to say. He says, Matt, I never want to see Grimsby win a game like that. That was like real life FIFA. Scripting the ref was atrocious. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, mate. Because and to be fair to Town fans, there's been plenty of, like, the majority have seen it and been quite sympathetic to certainly the first red card and the penalty. You get the odd account that obviously just likes to mouth off and chirp up and give it all that. But I'd imagine Grimsby fans who are taking the mickey out of us this week were probably acting exactly the same way last week, mate, when they thought they were hard done by because they accused it of being a high foot for Colchester's winning goal. So yeah, it does come back to the point about swings and roundabouts. But yeah, when you get one, you almost can live with it. But when there's 3, 4, or maybe 5 that you think have gone against you, it is a bit more tough to take. But we move on. I told a white lie. I said Walsall Barrow wasn't one of our feature games. It absolutely is one of our feature games because it's mine. So we shall talk about that now. This one finished Walsall 1, Barrow 2. Daniel Canoe scored for the Saddlers in the 74th minute, but there had already been goals by Elliot Newby and Charlie McCann for the away side, either side of a Lewis Shipley red card for 2 yellows. We'll start with the red card, mate. This one I think was correct. Already booked and then blatantly pulled the bloke down. Clear shirt, Paul. Deserved red card. You got to give huge credit to Barrow, though. This is a monster win. So to play with 10 men for nearly a half, so then double your lead when you're down to 10 men is even better. And then to see it out when you're under the cosh at the end. I mean, the game started quite evenly, I thought. And then Ben Whitfield teed up Elliot Newby for the first. Wasn't going to miss. It was literally like a yard out. It was impossible to not hit the back of the net. Then Will Stanway, brother of England Lioness, I believe, Georgia. The Barrow goalkeeper. Google that just to double check. I think I'm correct. He came to the fore, made a good save from Courtney Clark to make sure that his side led at the interval. And then the red card came on 56 minutes. And you think, right, Walsall probably back in this now. If they can get one, they might go and get another 1 or 2 and win the football match. Not an absolute bit of it. Bluebirds scored a second goal. Charlie McCann getting little bit lucky. Ball came to him. I think he miskicked it. And then it sort of rebounded a bit and fell back at his feet. But he showed good composure to slot that one in to make it 2-0. Canoe got one back with 15 minutes to play. Really good finish. And then Stanway again, a couple of big saves before Aaron Presley, he's definitely not related to Elvis, hit the post late on. And at that point, you think, yeah, it's the away side's day. And that means that Barrow, mate, and Andy Wing are now 5 games unbeaten, 3 wins and 2 draws in that time, giving them 11 points from the last 15 available. Starting to see rewards for Andy Wing's work.
Yeah, it's a fantastic result. And like I said, that chance that it's the post, even watching the highlights, obviously, you know, the outcome of the game, you feel like it was just bound to be. I don't know how it's not gone in. Even everyone on that pitch probably thought, how is that not gone in? But, you know, when them chances are not going in, it is your day. Mm-hmm. And like I said, massive credit to them to play with 10 men and get the result at Walsall, who are flying high. It is a massive result. And yeah, it's, like I said, 5 unbeaten, going quietly about the business.
Yeah, doing really well and starting to move up the table as well. And that's the thing, isn't it? We've said before at this time of the season, you put together a run of sort of 3 or 4 wins or 5 unbeaten, a few wins and a couple of draws, and you suddenly start shifting up the table really quickly, much in the other way, like we've seen. Well, like we said at the beginning, Colchester and Harrogate are a prime example of it at the moment. One's 1-3 on the spin, gone from sort of bottom 4 to mid-table, whereas Harrogate are slightly worryingly edging closer to that relegation zone where we've almost said we think 5 teams will be fighting it out come the end of the season, but you don't want to get sucked into it, do you? Because then it's tricky to get back out again.
No, I still think Harrogate are better than them that's in there. I think Harrogate will fluctuate where they'll have a good run to put enough together to keep them away for it, and then they'll have that bad spell which you think, they're going to get dragged into it, but they're always capable of pulling a result out when you least expect it. For me, with Harrogate, they're one of them sides that are just proper underdog, and they always pull it out. Which is massive credit to the manager who's been there absolute donkeys, and it's testament to him and what he's doing at that club. I think with that Walsall Barrow, obviously it were another result I didn't see happening. A lot like that Accrington Swindon. I think it was one of them where you just thought they're always going to be one winner because Walsall are flying so high, and I think this is the beauty of this division. Results like this can happen, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why we said we wanted to shine more light on it, didn't we? I know we had a bit of a chat last week about the lack of coverage on international weekends for ITV Sport, and thank you to everyone who retweeted it or whatever, because my phone essentially blew up back into last week because it just went absolutely nuts. I think it's been seen by nearly 600,000 people, which is absolutely mental. So it means that there is a market for League One and League Two all the time, not just to be bumped on the end of a championship programme. It says there's enough interest and enough love for two divisions to get their own show potentially in some form, or at least get a full hour when the championship are not playing because of international fixtures.
Yeah, and I also think fans are starting to look at divisions, and obviously with the playoffs, there's massive coverage of that and how fantastic they are. Obviously, the day at Wembley, and I think these Premier League fans, some are seeing that the product of the Premier League isn't what it used to be, so they are looking at clubs lower down in the pyramid, from like League One, League Two, even non-league, National League. I'm a big advocate for it. I absolutely love covering it because for me it's proper, and it's proper what I grew up like loving, what football the product is, and I think that's what fans are starting to realise, that it's what football is and should be without this VAR, without the tourists. Yeah, tourists, they're going to come over, but I think the product of the Premier League's just it's tainted a little bit, and
there's two key words you've said there: tourists and product. That's the thing. It feels like a product now in the Premier League. It doesn't feel like a sport. And I get, money helps the game run. I understand that, but you feel when you go to watch League One, League Two, National League, even lower down, like you say, National League, North and South regional leagues, it means a lot more, I think, now. Like you say, and everybody in the ground at these lower league matches is there because they support one of the teams, or they just love lower league football. Whereas, like you say, how many times do you look at Premier League games and you've got loads and loads of tourists are just there because they're in the country or whatever, they're in London or they're in Manchester. It's a completely different feel actually watching lower league football than it is to the Premier League. Like, I still watch the odd Premier League, don't get me wrong, because I like football, but yeah, if you're giving me the choice, it's lower league football every day of the week and on a Sunday.
Yeah, likewise, mate. I've been to a few, because obviously I tend to go to Spurs games. I think I went to one last year away at Man City, and I went
to
the
North London derby as well, didn't you?
Yeah. I touched on the Man City game. Obviously, what I like about going to these League One, League Two, National League, and lower is you meet fans, you talk to fans, you can have the conversation just about football, how their team's doing, or just a love for football. At that Man City game, I did not feel like I could do that. Yeah, there might have been obviously City fans that's been there for the club for years and whatnot, but I just didn't feel that connect. It was weird, really weird. And when I got to say when I went to Grimsby, you strike up conversation with people you've never met in your life. And I've made friends through doing this and just for the love of football. And it's absolutely brilliant that people.
I thought I had.
Likewise, so he sat there with a Sheffield United shirt on.
We are that childish, us two. You will get used to it, yes. For anyone who's not realised who didn't get here at the start of the show, I did say that Lee bet on Grimsby to beat Gillingham and won money off of my anger at the weekend, essentially. So I thought tonight, as part of the quiz question, I'm going to wear a Sheffield United shirt because Lee's a Wednesday. But no, like you say, I would never have met you for any other reason. We live at completely different ends of the country. Like, if it wasn't for lower league football and a mutual love of football vlogging and that type of thing, we don't meet. And that's the story up and down the country. You get to meet so many good people.
Yeah, and it is.
You still get to talk to on social media, didn't you? Even if they're not in the same division anymore.
Yeah, and it isn't just about us two vlogging and stuff like that. I think we message each other daily, like.
Yeah.
When football's on, we'll say, "Oh, did you see that game? Did you see that goal? Such and such and stuff we've seen."
Ned said to me last night, she went, "You're always messaging men." I went, "Well, yes, because you don't like football." Well, yeah, it's something that's just ingrained into you, and it like it is like I say, it's a mutual love of football, a club, a division, just the game. Brilliant.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, obviously we're waffling here. People are thinking, get on with it, lads. But I went to that West Brom game on Saturday, and because I absolutely loved just seeing a football ground for the very first time. Just obviously, you don't know what you see stuff on telly, and you obviously when you get to ground, you're like, I take myself back to being that kid and just like seeing a football ground for the first time. And when I walk in,
I'm steps in it, and you get the first glimpse of the green pitch. Because remember Ava when we went to Wembley?
Yeah.
By Ava, and was like, because I was recording her when I coming out of the concourse and on, and like the face was like, wow, this is slightly different to Priestfield.
yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's like it's that football ground. It doesn't matter where you are in the country or anywhere. You just a football ground is just like for me. It's my safe place because it's just like 90 minutes. You just take yourself away and you're just like, this is why I absolutely love football. You get emotional about it because I'm just so passionate about it.
Totally agree. If anyone's got any thoughts on our little ramblings, feel free to comment and tell us your own experiences or whatever. And in the meantime, we'll do a couple of comments and then we'll get to the video printer. Hayden says, never a foul. Gale got fouled by the number 9. Soft. Finn City says still not over Saturday, could ruin our season points wise. Yeah, let's hope it doesn't. I think I said to someone on X this morning, what Gills have got to do now is use that as an almost like us against them mentality, siege mentality, and feel like we've been wronged and we've got to go and put it right next week and get back on the winning horse, so to speak. Aaron, the Grimsby fan, says the DN35 podcast, have no shame. If the shoe was on the other foot, I'd be fuming. Yes, I did notice that they'd cast a few rods, we'll say, on social media towards Gills fans, and a few took a nibble, and one particular individual who's a friend of mine, who's a supporter of Gills, absolutely fell for it, hook, line and sinker, and grabbed hold of the bait and clung on for dear life. But yeah, again, it comes back to because we all care about our football clubs, and it does make us angry.
Once you're hooked on that rod, you ain't getting over.
Yeah, I know. And then it's a slippery slope, but it like I say, and you're sitting there to yourself going, "I know I've just got to shut up," and you can't.
I know, yeah.
And then you just keep digging yourself a deeper hole, and you make yourself look worse and worse. David says, gutted I'm not going to be at Priestfield on Saturday, but we're watching the game in a bar in Pattaya. Geography was not my strong subject at school, David. If you could, I don't know if Lee can help us out, but
is it Thailand?
It sounds Far East, doesn't it? I was going to say that sort of area, but yeah, if you can be more specific, mate, and yeah, we can all get jealous where you're going somewhere nice and warm and hot. Right, biddy print up. We shall do. Right, what we got? We had Cambridge 2, Bromley 1, goals from Shane Lavery and Kylian Kouassi put Cambridge 2-0 up before the break, before Michael Cheek pulled one back in the second half, but it was Cambridge who held on for the points as Neil Harris's men got back to winning ways. Did someone say in our WhatsApp group this is the third or fourth game involving Bromley this season where there's had to be an announcement over the PA system for if there's any officials in the ground because an official's got injured? I think the man in the middle did his ACL, unfortunately. He's getting absolute pelters if you watch the highlights. And the poor sod's ruptured his Achilles, ruptured his interior cruciate ligament. So swift recovery to the referee. Obviously, if it was Kettle's kid, I hope he does the other one. I'm joking. Definitely over it. Salford City 1, Oldham Athletic 0. Goal for Daniel Udo inside the first 15 minutes. Essentially won the game for Carl Robinson's men. And Will Sutton was sent off second half. Another contentious one, mate. Was that clear goal scoring opportunity? Yeah, that's the noise I made when I watched it. Because I had mine in the back of my head as well. And I was going, oh, it seems a bit harsh.
Yeah, I think where he's positioned in box as well, I think that's the main reason. You see him given, I think it's definitely more of a penalty than what yours was.
He's a lot closer to the goal than the Grimsby lad, put it that way, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%, mate.
Any Salford fans or Oldham fans, tell us whether yes or no it was a red card. Barnet 0, Notts County 1, a late winner for the Magpies. Tyrese Hall in the 4th minute of injury time. Shot Notts County up, I think, into the playoff places with a game in hand as well. Bristol Rovers 1, Tranmere 4, Lee, was not a game I don't think anybody saw coming. Goals for Nathan Smith on 38 minutes, Connor Jennings double on 51 and 73, and a Josh Davison tap-in. Put the away side 4-0 up with 10 minutes to go before Alfie Chang pulled one back for the gas with 5 minutes left, but that was nothing more than a consolation. It was then Chesterfield 1, Fleetwood 1, Will Davis opener cancelled out by Dylan Marcandy. Grimsby 1, Gillingham 0. We've talked about that. MK Dons 3, Crew Alexander 1. A double for Alex Gilby after Will Collar had opened the scoring. Crew got one back in the 10th minute of injury time, but then, of course, it was too late. And there were some interesting comments from Lee Bell, I think, after this one, mate, saying that essentially his team didn't do the basics right, I believe, which is an interesting reaction, given I know they've been in and out of form, and we've spoken about them previously, but it's always a risky business, whether you're right or wrong, if you start berating your players in public to that degree, isn't it?
Yeah, and sometimes you don't know what's being said, like behind closed doors and on a training ground about the manager. Sometimes when that happens, yours resort back to is he lost the dressing room. Obviously, sometimes I agree players do need outing performance-wise, but yeah, it can be a slippery slope, and we've spoke about him with Crew. I think they're at that point with Bell. I think is it time to look for a new direction?
Yeah, and it's intriguing because you've lost 3-1 to MK Dons. Fair enough. MK Dons are going to beat most teams this season. They're really sort of getting it going now. So it's not like it's a shameful result. Like we said about Michael Flynn a few weeks ago before he was sacked, come out and called Cheltenham's players the worst group of players he'd ever inherited. Like you can understand it more if you've been walloped 7-1, but you've lost 3-1 at MK. Like they won 4-0 last week. I think they scored like 10 goals in their last 3 games. It's not an awful result. It might have been a below par performance. So yeah, wonder if, like you say, something's gone on in the background a little bit there. But if there's any Crew fans in the chat, please let us know. Back to the football shirts. Matt has changed his mind and says Burnley, not West Ham. That is correct. The one nearest to me over my shoulder is Burnley's from the 2012-13 season. Aaron says, shocked me Newport haven't sacked him yet. Yeah, David Hughes must be on very thin ice. Oh, we forgot one result. We went off on a tangent again, didn't we, talking about Crew Alexander's manager. Last result in the division was Shrewsbury Town 1, Crawley Town 0. Late winner from Will Boyle with 6 minutes to go, thumping header into the back of the net. Harry McCurdy, the enigma, showed the other side of his game with a silly red card on 65 minutes, which made his team's task a bit harder. And so it proved to be costly late on. Right, what we got here? Still got some more comments. 40 of you still in the chat, which is brilliant. Smithy says every player or manager has their club. I personally think Michael Flynn going back wouldn't be a bad move. Yeah, Kieran in our WhatsApp chat said the same. They'd take him back in an absolute heartbeat. And we've said about him, haven't we, mate? It's fair to say that since leaving Newport, his career's gone downhill as a manager. Unfortunately, he's failed at Swindon, he's failed at Walsall, he's failed at Cheltenham, albeit there's difficult circumstances at boardroom level. But yeah, they've certainly. It's got to be sooner rather than later if performances and results continue as they are at the moment in Newport's case, isn't it?
Yeah, I just said obviously covered the game for my featured game, and there couldn't be a point where you get that far adrift that you literally can't claw anything back. So I maybe after this week, that is the end. I can't foresee it carrying on any longer because, like I say, you're just going to be cut adrift that you just can't turn it around. With Flynn, maybe sometimes managers it just fits with a club. And maybe he just needs a reset himself to go back to what he was successful with. And it was just a right fit. But certainly Newport, I think that they're going to have to make a call sooner or later.
Just have a look at their next few games. We go away to Harrogate this coming Saturday before FA Cup weekend. Obviously, they play us in the Cup. And then they've got Walsall at home. And then after that, their next three are Shrewsbury away, Oldham away, and Barrow at home. That's a monster 3 weeks, certainly in terms of, they're all teams that you'd say are in that sort of third of the table with them at the moment. So, yeah, and then suddenly Christmas creeps up and a transfer window, and before you know it, you've got to assess a squad, make a decision, and you want to sign players to try and improve your situation. So, yeah, I think the chairman there, Hugh Jenkins, is under pressure for a variety of reasons, but I think there'll be more lumped on him now in terms of what he does with the manager. Jack Thornton is in the chat. Evening, gents. That yellow card?
Yeah. What time is it? Yeah,
7 minutes to go. We're only joking, mate. We won't delete you from the chat. He also goes on to say, as I said in your comments, mate, I thought the ref made some very questionable decisions. That's very polite of you, sir. I like it. Yeah, Lee again says, please can everyone smash the like button if you haven't already yet. That'd be brilliant. And if you can, please go and follow the new Twitter page. We're just over 100 followers. It's just easy to find League 2 Hour on X. And then the more of you are in there, every time you see a show, if you can retweet it, share it, that's brilliant because it gets the audience up and it creates more debate for all of us, not just myself and Lee. Smithy regarding the Barrow game says 100% a red card. Yet we spoke about that. And Will Stanway made some fantastic saves. Still not sure how we didn't come away from something from the game. I think with this one, similarly to what we said about Walsall, just park it under one of them days and move on swiftly. It's not going to define their season, is it? They run 8 unbeaten before that. Credit to Barrow and just move on quickly.
Yeah, although I think Walsall fans will always have last season at the back of their head.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's
I didn't want to bring it up.
Sorry, Walsall fans. But yeah, obviously one result, then you start thinking, is it going to happen again? I think Walsall have learned from what went wrong last season. They've recruited experience, and I think like Swindon, I think it's just going to be a one-off. They'll reset and come again.
And if it does develop into something, a few games without a win, similar to my club, you'd rather have it in October, November than March and April and May, wouldn't you? When it's right at the business end. When I know every game is worth 3 points, but the old saying is the points are worth a bit more when you get closer to the end of the season. So yeah, if you're going to have a rough run, do it now rather
I
than
don't know if
later on.
Walsall fans, obviously from last season, what was the expectations for you guys? Was it top 3 this season or playoffs? It would be interesting. So obviously, I think disappointment last season and missing out the autos and then losing in the playoffs.
It's a good question.
It'd be interesting to see what the expectation was.
And whether it's changed now as well again, because obviously you got that hangover, so then you think maybe that sort of lessens the expectation because of that hangover, and then at the start they've had, and then suddenly the expectation rises again. So, the Smithy's a Walsall fan. If he can let us know what he thinks, that'd be brilliant. Mitch is a Walsall fan as well. He said, just seen the first red card for Gills. Only reason ref they give that is because he must have had 15 pints before kick-off. Yeah, it's
15 pints.
I'm not even sure he was old enough to drink, to be fair to him. So, but yeah, it's a really poor decision, and I'm glad someone else has agreed with me. Aaron says Quest are going to give us a call, mate, looking for presenters. I'm game.
I won't be up to it, mate. I waffle too much.
It's fine. About 8-hour show. Starts dinner time till midnight. We'd be cheap though, wouldn't we? That's the thing.
It's very cheap, mate. I'll do it for free.
Yeah. Sponsor my YouTube channel. Give us a pie. Yeah. Crack on. Love it. Smithy again says League Two is becoming a lot more technical, not just big ball missing out the midfield with fans getting neck ache. League One is a very, I think there is, there's some good technical players in the division. Like we've got Bradley Dack. If you look at like Luke Molyneux last season for Doncaster, Bradford had good technicians, Sarcevic and the type. Gilby at MK Dons jumps off the page at the moment. There's some really good footballers.
We have to look at Salford signing Barini. And
there was another one today when Barnet have signed Britta Sombalonga. The biggest question for this is how is Britta Sombalonga still 32 years of age? I thought he was 32 when he was about 15 years ago. Apparently so.
Yeah, no chance.
I thought he was about 60. He's definitely scoring a winner at Priestfield at the end of November now. I've just said that. Yeah, you get him fit. That's a good. Like if he is only like I can't believe he's 32, but that's there's some interesting signings in League Two this last few days. David, we've spoken about this on previous episodes. Says VAR has ruined the game at higher levels. Yet we said takes the emotion out of the game, which is never a good thing.
I think on that, Matt. Obviously, you've had a bad experience with a bad referee.
Have I? I thought I was hiding it quite well.
But I know you probably not agree with it now, but I think you'd still rather have that bad experience with a referee and talking point than a VAR.
Oh, absolutely. Rather the referee gets it wrong than they let some bloke in a truck look at it and he gets it as well with 55 different angles. That makes it even worse. And you don't get out the ground till about 7:30 on a Saturday. It's mental. So no, absolutely. And my thing about VAR quickly has always been we've survived without it for 150 years of football. We don't need it. Like goal line technology, brilliant. Buzzers on the referee, goes in, it beeps, done. Instant. None of this score a goal and then you've got to wait around 20 minutes waiting to see if you can celebrate. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's not aided the game one bit. It's dented the product.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Hutch is back in the chat all the way from Canada. Do you think a certain Mr. Neville might come in some more stick from Salford fans on Saturday? I believe this is regarding something, was it political, he said? I tend to steer away from
we're not going to get into a sticky situation.
So we'll say maybe, David, and we'll move on to the next comment.
One thing I will say on this political, do not bring it into football. I've been in stands where they're chanting someone's W. Just go to football
and let it be about football. Yeah.
Have your views outside of football. Just go to football, enjoy the football.
Like you said, it's an escape for a lot of people, isn't it? So they don't want to be talking about stuff that they have to see or deal with every day on a Saturday afternoon or a Tuesday night. Yeah, absolutely agree. We swiftly move on. Is that yellow
we all agree. We all agree with it, is it? But just keep it out of football.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, nothing else other than lower league football, like the Gills we've been in the Championship. Though, like it was great when we got up there, but back to the point about the modern game at a higher level, it was very different when we were in the second tier. Gills was turn of the millennium, and it still felt like a lower league back then. The money wasn't saturated as much and as having much of an impact. Just on your point, Lee, Jamie Streven says apparently Salford have signed. It's not apparently, mate. Yeah, that was confirmed last week. Apparently he's got business interest, is what I read on social media, in the area, and he'd been training with the club. So, and I think they've had an injury to Jay Bird as well. So it looks like he's coming in as a sort of replacement for him. I'd imagine it'll take a while for him to get up to speed. But I mean, if you get him fit and firing, then he's certainly going to be, or should be, too good for League Two.
Yeah.
Right, do you want to do your goals of the week, mate? Because we've done an hour here and we've waffled on a lot and we've still got plenty to do. So you're all going to be treated to some injury time again this evening.
So I'll start with my third. Cambridge's Kouassi. He's back to goal. Turns, great finish, top corner. Love that old school striker. And finish with that nice strength. And yeah, it's a brilliant finish. Then my second, Luke Young. His second sweet finish on the volley. It's a fantastic finish. I see you smiling there. I feel like we've got similar. And then number one, I'd already picked it. I think I tried to gear away a little bit earlier on this show. And yeah, Paddy Madden, that chip and finish, it's fantastic. Obviously, he spotted the keeper. Very clever, and it's a cute finish, and yeah, it wins it for me.
I'm glad I changed one, because otherwise we'd have had exactly the same three in exactly the same order.
No way.
Honestly, yeah. I took Kouassi out last minute and changed my third place to Alex Gilby for MK Dons. The cutback, I think, might have been Nemain or Hepburn Murphy, who was on late in the game, back to Gilby edge of the box, and the arrows are finished right into the corner. Tom Booth had absolutely no chance. It was Kouassi second until then. It was a really good spin. Second place, Luke Young. Which one did you have? Did you have his first or his second?
Second.
Oh, I had his first. Thank Christ for that.
Right, yeah.
I just think, to be that aware to just shoot first time is really good. I know you can say it's an unguarded net, but yeah, technically that was brilliant to get it into the far corner from there. So that was my second place. And yeah, there was only one winner this week, and that was Paddy Madden's audacious lob from about 25 yards up and over Connor Ripley that sent Accrington on their way to a huge win. And shall we do it on a count of three? Our player of the week, because it is a joint decision this week, was
Paddy Madden.
Paddy Madden, yes. Stunning performance, wasn't it, mate, from the veteran centre forward. Like we said, first goals of the season, first goals for the club. What a way to do it.
Yeah, hat-trick, an assist, perfect afternoon, obviously. He's capable of that. He's a goal scorer. Obviously, he's come from Stockport, and yeah, I think it's a great signing. And if we can get him firing, I think it's certainly what Accrington need, because it's what they've been lacking, isn't it?
Absolutely. We said first few weeks of the season it was only Tyler Walton scoring goals, so now Heath's got a couple. Madden's obviously up and running, and it'd be so good for the younger players, wouldn't he, like Walton and Heath and others, because so much experience of not just playing at the level but being successful at the level. He's been promoted into this league with Chesterfield and Stockport. We got promoted out of this league with Stockport as well. So 90 minutes played, 37 touches, 5 shots attempted, of which 3 were on target. They all went in. 85% pass completion as well. 3 key passes and an assist. So he weren't content with just scoring. He was involved in the other goal as well. So comfortably this week, player of the weekend, Accrington Stanley's Paddy Madden. Right, a couple more comments.
Correct myself there, because it didn't come from Stockport. It come from Chesterfield. Oh, where I've missed that one.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah, he went there, and I think he suffered a few injuries.
Yeah.
Matt, the Gills fan, says nothing wrong with VAR when done correct. I don't disagree, but I just don't think it's done correctly enough, considering how much they've spent on it and how long it's been in play in the game now. You're going back to what, 2018 World Cup, I think, was the first major tournament. So you're 7 years down the line, and it's still not any better for me.
No, I don't think you'll not get. You might get one weekend where a decision's probably okay, but then the weekend after they'll balls it up again. So you're not. It's not consistent.
Exactly. And we moaned about referees not being consistent. So why do we need a truck and a load of monitors to we're just redirecting our anger, aren't we? Every week, you might as well just let us redirect our anger at the referee in the middle.
Yeah, all they're doing is taking the slack off the referee for the guys in the truck to make that crap decision, but also you're slowing the game down. That's all they're doing, slowing the game down to give that crap decision.
And I think, I had this discussion on social media yesterday afternoon. Referees, I think, have a tendency to become lazy in the Premier League because I know they can get bailed out by VAR. But then they're meant to be the example setters because they're meant to be the creme de la creme, so to speak, the highest level of officials that we've got in this country. So then referees lower down the pyramid are probably looking at them as some sort of role models. But then the issue you've got is if the ones watching the elite ones start becoming not lazy, that's not the right word, but thinking they can rely on other people, they've not got VAR to fall back on. And then you end up with situations that you're in League One and League Two and the National League.
Yeah. I don't know if this happens now. It probably does. But it doesn't happen very well if it does. Obviously, we'll go back to your game again. What I would want to know, someone might be able to say it does happen, is obviously after a game, like a team, they'll review the game. Does someone sit down with a referee and say, look, do you think you got this decision right? Or do you think that you've obviously handled it correctly? And if it comes out they said, oh, I'd have probably changed my mind on that. I don't know. It might happen, but if it does, I don't think it's happened very well. If it don't happen,
they must be getting assessed surely on a regular basis. I don't know if there's someone there at every game, but obviously there's good video footage that everybody's got access to. Now, I can't for the life of me think that an assessor looks at that performance from the referee in our game and goes, he's got more right than he's got wrong. I genuinely, and that's not me talking about it as a Gills fan now. And it's not just Gills that were affected, it's every club every week. And all right, at the beginning of the season, it might not seem as important. But what if that was, 3 games from the end of the season and that knocks a team out of the playoffs or that gets a team dropped into the relegation zone? You're playing with players' careers and managers' jobs and all that type of thing as well. It's not just an isolated decision that only means something on the day. Certainly the closer to the end of the campaign, these decisions get magnified more because they mean a lot more because the pressure gets higher.
Yeah, we're not saying that people are perfect. Players aren't perfect.
No, not at all.
Mistakes happen, but I just think sometimes I think what refs, obviously that decision, I think he rushed it. I think sometimes it needs to be just thought of a little bit, and maybe the linesman or the fourth official communicate and just help out sometimes, and just I think the rush decision didn't help, did it?
No, and I think, like you say, the human element's been taken out of refereeing now. It's like they're so governed by this rule book, which I get. You have to have rules, otherwise it's just carnage. But there has to be a human element. Like for instance, in our game, there's a lunge on Johnny Williams in the first couple of minutes that I think's a foul, certainly a yellow card at least. Doesn't even get blown up. You look at the linesman, and he's got no interest. But the one in the second half for Johnny Williams' second, which is a trip, a little shirt tug. He couldn't wave his flag quick enough to get involved, to get someone sent off. Mm-hmm. So again, it comes back to consistency. And we all have bad days at work. I totally get that. But in your job, and I know in mine, if I keep making the same mistakes over and over again, then someone higher up the food chain comes to me and says, hang about, you've got to sort that out.
Yeah, I think linesmen, sometimes they're just...
I don't even know why they're there.
Yeah, they want the easy ride. Obviously, they're on the touchline where the fans are, and sometimes they just think that I'm not going to get involved. But I think they do need to get involved a little bit more. Sometimes they're closer to what the referee is. So sometimes I think they need to help out and just. It's going to happen where fans are going to get gear grief, but I think it's part and parcel of the game, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Right, last couple of comments, then we'll look at the league table quickly. Smithy says, was good to meet Lee at Wembley in the player final in the Torch Boozer. Top bloke.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Yeah, legend. Great to meet you as well.
Jack says, I've got to say, I thought you lot were very good. Then we move down to Sturdy Jill, who says, great show. Thank you very much. Lee was correct. Smithy again. Pattaya is in Thailand. Right, let's have a look at the league table then, mate. Bear with me 2 seconds. Let me find it. Here we go. Magic. So, Newport are left rooted to the bottom after another defeat at the weekend. They sit in 24th with just 8 points, and it's Crawley who sink into the bottom two with them now after defeat at fellow relegation strugglers Shrewsbury Town. Up there we go. It's Cheltenham in 22nd, and then upwards to Shrewsbury, Accrington, Harrogate, Tranmere, and Oldham in 17th. After that, Bristol Rovers continue to slip. They're in 16th. Barrow go above them into 15th. Cole U starting to knock on the door of the top half in 14th, and it's Bromley who top the bottom half of the table. And as we go into the top 12 places, Fleetwood, Crewe, Barnet go 12th to 10th. Oh, Notts County not quite in the playoffs, but up to 9th with a game in hand. Cambridge sit one place outside with 8th. The playoff places are made up of Salford, Chesterfield, Gillingham and Swindon. And the top 3 is Grimsby, MK Dons and Walsall. Walsall still top despite that defeat. But I think, mate, before we finish up, MK Dons slipping ominously into gear.
Yeah, they've obviously listened to us on there and thought, right, I'll show you lads on that League 2 hour.
We're like motivational speakers, aren't we? That's essentially now as well. It's just brilliant.
But yeah, they're kicking into gear and showing the worth, and yeah, I think they're going to take some beating if they continue with the form that they're in. Bristol Rovers, I didn't realise where they are in the division. I know they're a couple of wins to get back into it, but I think shipping the goals that they have in the last 2 worrying signs.
Yeah, totally agree. Absolutely. Right, last couple of comments, and then we better blow full time. Barnaby Drury is in the chat very late, but he's in Cyprus, so we'll let him off if he's watching us on his holidays. Hello, mate. In Cyprus at the moment. Hope you do well Saturday. That Hutton red card is a joke. 6 suspended for Saturday. Is that true? Pinch of salt, Eileen Black asked. If that's talking about Gills, I don't think it's 6. Obviously, we've got Hutton suspended and Johnny Williams because of the red card, unless Hutton gets overturned on appeal. Sam Gale suspended because of 5 yellows, but I don't think there's anyone else suspended. And we've got a few injuries as well, unfortunately, which is not ideal at the moment. Quickly on your question, mate, about Walsall, Mitch has answered for us and said expectation for the season at the start was push for the playoffs at best. My only worry is if we have a bad run, I can see fans wanting Sadler out after last season's disaster. Yeah, we've mentioned that. It seems that he's always a couple of bad performances away from being on the verge of the sack, isn't he? But, you know, you can only take it one game at a time. You can only see what you're seeing in front of you at the time, and at the moment, regardless of Saturday's defeat, it's been a really solid start to the season.
Yeah.
Matt the Groundhopper's in. Evening, Matt. He's asking me if I'm going to Newport or will I be going to Buxton to watch Chatham. I'll be having a weekend off, mate, to be quite honest. Obviously, trying to do every Saturday league game this season, and Newport away wasn't the most glamorous, unfortunately, given that we've only been there a month ago, so I'm going to save my pennies that weekend. I'll be on the sofa keeping an eye on things from afar before heading to the Mem to watch Gills take on Bristol Rovers the week after. I think that is about it this week. One last comment because we love the app. Her father didn't like me. It says there's a comfort in seeing a League 2 table displayed in CFAX. If you've not been made aware, and me and Lee do talk about it, if you go onto the App Store, if you're on iPhone or on Android, whatever it's called on there, and look for Telescore, TELESCORE, download the app and enjoy all its nostalgic wonderfulness. Right, mate, I think that's probably a nice point to end. CFAX?
It is. I was just trying to find it, but I can't.
I'll just quickly put this comment up
before
we finish.
That is how it displays. Like,
absolutely stunning.
Brilliant.
And you don't have to wait ages in the rain like you used to have to if you was out shopping with your mum and dad on a Saturday at 4:45. Finally, before we go, quiz answer, like we've said, was Sheffield United Burnley, Portsmouth, and Wolves, plus Preston, are the only 5 teams in the history of the English game to have won all 4 of the top professional divisions. So anybody who got all the shirts correctly, plus I think one got the bit about winning the respective titles as well. Well done to everyone. But he's still Lee. I'm still Matt. This has been the League 2 hour and a bit. And we will see you next Monday.